is Jack Dearborn. I'm the zoning Board of Adjustments chairperson, and this evening we have 3 cases to take up. Before we get to any cases, I'd like to, since this is our first meeting since town meeting, we need to appoint officers again. Years gone by. So any nominations?
Well, Jack, I'd like to nominate you as chairperson, keep it the same, and Mike Myers as vice chair.
Thank you.
Nomination?
Thank you. We have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Being none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Good. Since this is the only members we have here tonight, why don't we go around the room, Mark, and just say who you are?
Mark Moretti, member.
Bobby Joe Plamondon, member.
Michael Meyer, member.
Gary Shelto, alternate.
Very good, thank you. This evening, we don't have a cover sheet, do we?
You don't have an agenda?
No.
I didn't see one.
Email.
Oh. It's at home in my email. Thank you.
I'll take that last page.
That's good. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, this evening we have 3 applications. The first is an application for a special exception for Belanger Construction owner Jeffrey Ardini for accessory dwelling unit in accordance with Article 19.110 allowed by special exception. And the property is at 8 Greenwood Road, tax map 412, lot 82, residential zone. The applicant would like to construct an addition for a accessory dwelling unit, ADU. The next case we have application has actually got 2 variances. It's for Sandra and Scott Martell for 1 construction of a new home on a Class 6 road. It's Article 17.11, restriction of permitted use on a Class 6, and also private in this case. And 2, a variance for required front back distance, Article 3, general provision. The property is on 124 East Shore Drive, tax map 104, lot 12, in a residential zone. Applicant would like to obtain a building permit to construct a new home on a Class 6 road with a 2-car garage, no closer than 13 feet from the front setback where 30-foot setback property line is required. The third application for this evening is application for variance for Alex Hayfield for residential use in a commercial district, Article 24.10, non-permitted uses. Property is 197 Sugar Hill South Road, tax map 406, lot 4, in a commercial zone. The applicant would like to renovate the existing use for residential. And that is the Speedway down on Sugar Hill South, that property. With that said, any questions from the board?
No.
Okay, how we run the meeting is that all questions go through the chair, and what I will do is we will take up each application individually, and I will read out. I will give a synopsis of what's in the package. That's the application. Then I will ask for a motion in the affirmative to accept the application. This is for purposes of making sure that we have an adequate package that we can hear. If we find it to be yes, we will go forward. If we find it to be no, we'll find out for cause and decide what to do with it. In the event we go through the entire case and find a deficiency, we could still ask the applicant to go back and supply the information that's necessary. Okay, and then once that's done, I'll ask the applicant to come forwards at the podium, state his or her name, and I will ask the board if they have any questions of the applicant before we start for clarification, should there be any needed. If not, the applicant can read their case. And the important issue here is that we have it here, people at home don't have an application before them. So if you have 5 points of hardship in the case of variance, you should read what you have, so it's in the record, and people at home could hear it as well. It may be easy not to do that, but we prefer to have that source in the record. And after we hear the case, I've asked the applicant to sit down, and then I'll ask, is any approving abutters wish to speak to the application? Disapproving abutters wish to speak? Public at large and other boards. Once that's done, and we've gone through everybody, one person speaking at a time, coming up to the podium, state their name. Then I'll ask the applicant if they wish to rebut anything that may have been said. Being nothing, then we'll just move through the group again. Proving abutters, disproving abutters, public at large and other boards. Once that's done, I will shut down the public meeting, and after that, we will deliberate on the case. And typically, it'll either be for acceptance, possibly with conditions, turned down for cause, and continuation if we feel there may be a legal issue that we need information, or if the applicant thinks they need some more time to come back with relevant information, we can see if the board will grant that. So, once that's done, we take the vote tonight, unless we have another reason we shouldn't take it for cause, and then we move on to the next one and next one until we're done. And we take up other business at the end of the evening. So, that said, who is here for Belanger Construction? Very good. Step up, sir. State your name, please.
My name is Jeffrey Ardini. I'm the property owner of 8 Greenwood Road, and Belanger Construction is the company that I've been working with and trying to put together this plan.
Okay. Before you go through this, let me make sure I got the right one here. Where is it? Here we go. Right in front of me. Let's see. Motion to accept the application.
Move to accept case 0820.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. Second. Any discussion? Anybody have issues with the application? Being none, all those in favor to accept the application?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. The reason I say that is so she knows what at least what I think happened. If people take issue with it, they can speak. Okay, to that end, any questions of the applicant before he starts his presentation? Being none? This is a special exception, so by law, you get it by right, provided you meet the, I forget how many, is there 7 parts? 7 parts detailed, so basically you get it if you meet those 7 conditions, okay? And they're specifically designed to avert people trying to build a duplex. So it's
Understood.
meant by virtue of size, where the entrance is, access between them, and all that kind of stuff. So, with that said, let's get to your, okay, let's go through real quick. Okay, you get it right here. So this is what you'll be reading?
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay, we got kind of a challenged copy here, so Once you start on one and go right through. Read the question, and
Okay.
then read your answer, if you will, please.
Number one, the specific site is an appropriate location for such a use or uses in terms of overall community development. My response is yes. The proposed in-law or efficiency structure is in a residential area which is appropriate for community development. Number two, the proposed use will not adversely affect the neighborhood and shall produce no significant reduction of real estate values in the neighborhood area. My response is the proposed use will not adversely affect the neighborhood. It should increase the value of the real estate in the neighborhood area. Number three, the proposed use will not be a nuisance or serious hazard to vehicular traffic or pedestrians. My response is the proposed use will not be a nuisance or serious hazard to vehicular traffic or pedestrians. Number four, the proposed use will not cause an undue burden on the town through the provisions of basic town services. My response, no additional services will be required or needed by the municipality. Number five, adequate off-street parking be provided if determined necessary by the zoning board or adjustment. My response, there will be adequate parking spaces for 2 cars with no new curb cut. Number six, a buffer may be required to screen neighboring uses from the proposed use. Buffers may be a fence, screens, dense planting of suitable trees and shrubbery, or naturally occurring shrubs and trees. My response is additional buffering, a buffer will not be required. Number seven, the zoning board of adjustment is, in granting any special exemption, may include such restrictions or conditions to ensure compliance with this section. My response is we are happy to comply with any restrictions or conditions provided by the zoning board of adjustment.
Thank you. Mike, could you go now through and
Sure.
just do a quick check to make sure the package complies with that?
I do actually have one question. Part, where is it? 19.1.10.1 specifically states that the accessory dwelling shall not exceed 750 square feet. And on the plan, you've got 855 documented. And I'm looking for somewhere else where it might be adjusted down to living space or something like that. Is that?
I am aware of that section of the requirement that it not exceed 750 square feet, as is the builder I'm working with. The reason we submitted one that's slightly larger at 855 proposed square feet is, this is my mother and stepfather, who will be, assuming this is approved and gets built, will be living in the efficiency dwelling. And although my mother won't come in with her walker today, she has considerable hip and knee issues, and given her age, as much as she might want to argue this point, there's a likelihood that she's going to end up in some sort of wheelchair or other device to help her mobility. And the extra space is to allow for slightly bigger bathroom, a little more room between furniture, and so forth, to be able to maneuver a walker and or a wheelchair in the future for her mobility.
I gotta stop it right here because you get it by right if you meet the conditions. If you don't, we cannot grant you this. This is outside the scope of the conditions. What you need to do is come back with a variance not to exceed the amount you asked for, and you have to give compelling testimony why that is practically not suitable at 750. You spoke about it here. I mean, I'm not trying to be a bad guy, but that's why we have special exceptions, so we give them the boundary to operate within. And you get it as long as you meet those conditions. You've kind of missed the first step, okay? We would have to, either you accept 750 tonight, modify this, or if you want to go for that number, you can come back for a variance to that one item. And you should gather any necessary documentation and/or medical opinions you might think would be beneficial to state your case as a hardship for relaxing that particular square footage. Make sense? Because technically, we'd have to find no tonight. If you'd like to continue your special exception and come back next month with a variance application, we can see if we give you the variance, if you get the variance, I should
That
say.
was my question.
And then we can take up and continue with your application, because then it'll be compliant.
So if I understand correctly, if he says now he'll meet the requirements, he can move forward and then go, if she does go to a wheelchair or what have you, he can come for
Well,
a variance.
Well,
no,
Words
I'm
up.
saying, ask for a continuation of this case.
Oh,
So it's
okay, yeah,
active.
I'm with you now.
Okay.
If
Go
you
and
still want
pursue and gather whatever information from your doctors or whatever, physical therapists, whatever you need to demonstrate the need. Come back and ask for that to relax that 750 out to 8, whatever it is. And should we find that it's reasonable, see what the town of Ware is trying to do with this is, it's very difficult to write precisely what is acceptable for accessory dwelling unit. So they give 7 conditions you must meet. And rather than burdening the building inspector with all those decisions, they bring it here as pretty much, do you meet it? Yes, you get it. It's just a way of having a board look at it real quick and determine if it's correct. So, if you would like to continue this case, so you don't have to reapply for this case, we can continue to next month, be the first Tuesday, right? Whatever that is. Whatever, October
October 6th.
October 6th.
6? Okay. If you don't think you can get your information, contact Kelly and say, we're not prepared to come back October 6th, and ask for a continuance. We have to set the date for a date certain. If you need relaxation from that, she and I will discuss it, and generally speaking, if you're difficulty getting the information together. A variance is much different. Are you aware of a variance versus a special exception? A variance is 5 points of hardship. These 5 questions, you're gonna have to answer questions that we can say yes to. In other words, 3 out of the 5 people, or in the case of there's only 3 people here, all 3 have to vote yes. Not, in the case of 3 people, they all have to vote yes on all 5. One strike, you're out. If there's 5 people here, at least 3 people have to vote yes on each one. So it's a more stringent test, and I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you for that information.
Yeah.
Point of clarification too, typically when we see these, we see the interior dimensions spelled out, and the 855 is clearly the exterior dimensions of this building. So is that
Well,
the expectation that the applicant would come back with the interior dimensions meeting that 750 if they just wanted the variant or the exception?
well,
Or
I don't think the walls are 3 feet thick, so.
understood,
Right.
absolutely. I'm just
So- I don't know, that would be that person's decision. I'm not asking to put her on the spot, but typically, we look at the plan, dimensioned. If it's over 750, a
Yeah.
red light goes on,
yeah,
and it's an issue, so.
understood.
We can't do anything tonight. All we can do is deny you based on not meeting the test, rather than go through and take a vote and have you come back again. and reapply. I'd rather, for your benefit, if the board's okay with it, we're gonna take a vote here in a minute, but are you okay for us to consider a continuance?
Yes, and
Good.
she's
So-
already signaled that a month should be plenty of time to get together what we need for.
Okay. Remember now, it's important you fill out those 5 points of hardship based on the evidence you want to bring forward, you know, and submit those as well if you have opinions from people in the healthcare business or whatever. So with that, you can have a seat. And at this point,
Move to continue the case.
move the
until-
continue the case till October 6th.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. So hopefully see you in October. And if you have any concern about what happens with variances, she's the person you would talk to. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Okay. Let's see where we're here. Which one is next?
Martell
Is somebody named Martell? Very good. We have a winner. Very good. Okay, let me do my thing here, and we'll get to it. This is a case, there are 2 variants requested for this case. And (1711) you cannot construct on a Class 6 or private road without a variance, and it's a little more complicated than that. But there's an application, and there is 5 points of hardship for that particular one. One thing I noticed is there's 2 packages. Here we go. There's 2 920As. Was there meant to be 2 920As?
9:20 days.
Well, I'm looking right here. 9, ZBA case 9020.A.
Yeah,
And I would expect for the second one to be B.
Yeah,
But instead I see, unless I'm looking at this wrong,
on the cover page, it's B.
I thought I did.
I've got an A
I thought
and a
I did
B.
A and B.
I got A and B.
Yeah, I thought I did.
Oh,
A.
wait a
Might be
minute.
mismarked.
Wait a minute,
Could be just mismarked on that application.
maybe.
But
I'm
they
just
are
trying
two
to,
the
I'm just
same.
trying to,
Oh, you're.
why did I see it
So
twice?
we've got application 920A, application 920B, and then this is the documentation 920A.
Oh, that's why I got out of step. Okay. So, it appears we got both 5 points of hardships. We have descriptions. We have butters. We have compliance matrix. That's where I got tripped up. We have a warranty deed. We have a series of photographs. A butter list which goes with, I don't know which one's which. It's 2 sets of a butters list. I suspect they're the same. There's a tax map. There is a projected location, Wilcox and Barton. Project location. I think they're just trying to identify it. Oh, this is tax map lot. But the location is actually in 124. Still tax map. There is a property card. There is a diagram with a building, and it looks like it's overlaid on the existing foundation that stands by itself, with an attached garage up on the street side, and with a septic as well. Okay. How different are these A and Bs from the write-ups? Are they fairly the same?
I would say that the answers to the 5 points are unique to the 2 variances.
Okay, we'll take each one separately. Okay. Sometimes when they come in, they just use the same.
No, we have slightly different reasons.
Okay, cool. Okay, this point, have you met everybody, or you've been outside? Why don't we just go around the room again? I'm Jack Dearborn, Chairman.
Mark Murray, member.
Bobby Joe Commando, member.
Michael Meyer, member.
Jerry Shelto, alternate.
Okay, did you hear how we run the meeting? Okay, good, okay. Let's take the first Part A application first, and vote to accept the application.
I'll make a motion to accept the application.
Thank you. Second, thank you, Mark. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Okay, let's, would you, whoever wishes to do the presentation?
You just need to state your name.
Okay, perfect. My name is Erin Lambert. I'm a civil engineer with Wilcox and Barton. I'm working for Sandra and Scott Martell doing the site layout and land use permitting. So I'm going to walk through the application tonight. Sandra and Scott are both here, should you have any questions. Why don't I give you a brief overview? It applies to both variances, and then I can go through the first variance and read through our criteria. So 124 East Shore Drive is a 1/3 of an acre lot located in a residential zone. East Shore Drive is a Class 6 road, so that's why our first variance before you tonight is requesting permission to build a home on a Class 6 road. Currently, the lot is undeveloped. There is an old foundation, a dug well, and an old septic tank, as well as a camper and shed on the property. It is a non-conforming lot per your zoning ordinance, section 3.5.3. The Martells are proposing to build a 2-bedroom, single-family home with a garage. They'll be putting in a new well, a new compliant septic system, as well as drainage control. So we're going to mitigate any runoff from the new development. The camper will be removed.
About the little shed,
Yep, camper shed, all that's gone.
about the
Yep.
foundation.
The foundation is going to be gone because at this point, unfortunately, has deteriorated beyond the point of salvage. But the building, if you brought a site plan with me to help orient you. These are in your packet, but I highlighted them as well. So the green is the property line, and the blue is the edge of the water. Sorry. Green's property line, blue is the edge of the water, East Shore Drive. So you can see the lot line is set back from East Shore Drive. The camper today is about 10 feet off of the property line, 28 feet off the road. The proposed garage would be 13 feet off of the property line, so more conforming, which makes it about 31, 32 feet off of East Shore Road.
Where the
orange-
property line of the road is?
This is the property line, yep. This is the edge of the right of way.
And how many,
East Shore Drive is actually over here, so there's quite a bit of land between what's currently East Shore Drive gravel.
so how close are you gonna be to the frontage?
Yes, so we are gonna be 13 feet, and that's our second variance request, is to be 13 feet from the front property line.
So, just so we get it straight, when we write variances for setbacks, we'll use the term no closer
Real
than.
close to that, perfect.
And are you sure 13 is gonna do it?
Yes.
Okay. Because some people say, yeah, and they haven't really done the homework of where the property is.
Now,
good.
Okay.
The engineering and the survey's been done. and
Very
they're
good,
gonna
very
be
good.
Specifically, because
Okay.
we wanted to not ask for the variance.
And the reason I bring it up, because we've had problems in the past, and said, oh yeah, I know where the boundary line is. We'll give them exactly what they asked
We have
for.
exactly boundary lines, exact survey, they've done
Yeah.
all the homework.
Okay, but
Yeah.
to finish the story,
Sure.
they go to get a loan from the bank. Bank says you have a non-compliant property, and they basically say go get a variance. And that's another harangue.
So, for the record, we are already approved, we've already gotten our financing lined up.
Yeah, but if you wish to sell in the future, I'm just saying, if you're confident, I'm happy. I just bring that up because some people are overly confident, and when they're done having the discussion, they,
Oh.
gee, I don't know exactly what it is. So,
Sure.
okay,
Yeah, so what you're looking at is a surveyed property, and we had a wetland scientist delineate wetlands, top of shore, those type of things. So one of the things that's pertinent to the application is that, it's an irregularly shaped lot, which you can see. The shore starts down here, but it's carved in, so all of our setbacks are off of that. The orange is the setback, so you can see between that and the wetland setback, which is important for the septic system design. There's a lot of constraints on the site due to its irregular shape. So I just wanted to present that. I also have pictures if you need it, but they're the same ones that are in your packet. But if you have any questions, we can look at those. So the first variance.
let me ask
oh,
the
sure.
board if there's any questions they have before we start. You have any questions?
No, sir.
There is one issue, okay, there is one issue that I'll bring up. And East Shore Drive, the road itself, comes in relatively, now for a class 6 road, is pretty well done up to the first houses you hit, past the dam. A couple of 3 years ago, we did approve one on the other side of the road. It's either the second one, it's a new one. And going beyond that, the road is really your issue. It's very challenging. It has to be maintained because they're round season properties. And I'm not even sure that road would even pass the driveway requirement for a single driveway for pitch and for radius and for width. So you are quite a ways off from where from the house, the road is basically unoccupied. And you show up and have, a cluster of houses, but the road is pretty good. And then it goes into progressively worse, more challenges. So I had gone up there this afternoon, and I think Mike has gone there today. I think you're familiar, but not particularly. Frankly, the whole case, the variance for setback is one issue, but the predominance of this case is the status of the road. And I'd like to schedule a walkthrough, on-site walkthrough with the board there, and invite the Public Works Director, who's responsible. When we grant a variance to building of the 1711, there are certain conditions we put on. One is you gotta put a disclaimer in the registry. Two, you have to do adequate posting for the casual person driving in, and it's already there because somebody already put it up there. I looked today, nobody tore it down yet. And then we generally put conditions on, and the typical conditions, since we now have a fire chief that has come up with a sort of a driveway minimum requirement. And depending on the length, it's got to have certain width, and then you have to have certain turn-offs. And their problem is, it's almost, I should have checked it today, it's probably like 1.5 miles in there. And they'd have to hoof it in there to pick somebody up, either a drowning victim or somebody with a heart attack. And people park in the road. I was there today. The road and where the road is, the passable area is very challenging, especially when people actually, some cases, park in the road. So I think that's the biggest hurdle we have to overcome. And I think it'd benefit you as an applicant to have us go look at this versus based on what we think's there. So to that end, I'm requesting that you consider continue the case the next month. We will go on a site walk. You're welcome to have you there. It's not we're gonna do this in private, but until I got there today, I really didn't appreciate how challenging that road is. There's nothing you can necessarily do because you don't own the road. The town of Ware owns the road. And the abutters, they got retaining walls up. There's a whole bunch of issues, so having the guy we pay money to tell us how roads are done is the Public Works Director. I'd like to, let's put it this way, I'm recommending you consider a continuance. If not, we continue tonight. And we'd rather have this thing done up right, correctly, than some of us parties may be disappointed. So, sorry to do this.
Can I ask for a point of clarification? If that were the case, is there a portion of the information that we could share with you tonight?
Here's the problem. If we go through this again, if we go through the whole thing, a month goes by. You want to have to go through it all again? So
I don't mind, but you might have to just sit through it twice, but I don't mind.
I don't think it'd be appropriate because there could be another person in the room.
Sure.
Somebody could bring up another question, they didn't understand it. So I generally, if there's issues with challenges that we really need to understand,
Sure.
I'd rather bring it up in front and get a sense of the board where they feel. Now, they may decide it ain't a problem. We'll see how many votes we get for a continuance. Would you?
Are you asking to continue both applications or just one application? Or are you recommending, I should say?
Well, one strike, you're out.
Okay.
I mean, if you get the setback and you don't get the road, or if you get the road, you don't get the setback.
Yeah, so before we answer that, there was one thing we wanted to ask the board before we began hearing this particular variance. So there was a variance granted for this, to build a home on this lot. It was granted on May 5th of 1998. There was a request for a condition that the town of Ware liability disclaimer be attached to the building lot, and that is attached to the deed. When the Martells bought the property, they saw that it was attached to the existing deed. So in our research, we've found that variances, because they're not based on application, they're based on the characteristics of the land, go with the land. So one of our questions was, we wanted to defer to the board for your judgment. So we did put in an application in the event that we needed it, but we wanted to ask this board if that variance is still valid because it goes with the land.
Well, again, I would have to confer with town council and get that answer for you. Frankly, I would have an opinion, she would have an opinion. If we offer opinions to town council and he says yes or no, he's the one who's gonna have to defend it in court. So, you ought to get it right versus it blow up later on, so. It's gonna depend on, and this is really a confusing situation. There was a time when variances never ran out. Then there's a time when the town of Ware decided it was 1 year. Then there's a time when the state decided it's 2 years and it can't be any more.
Right.
So depending when this thing happens,
Sure.
if it's truly is, it's got a lifetime variance,
Yeah.
you may not have to be here.
Right.
Okay, I'm not suggesting you don't, I'm just saying you might have something in your case.
So to add to that discussion, in part of my research, I was looking into exactly that, the history of the duration at which variances have been allowed or to expire. And this is from the General Court for the state of New Hampshire. And it does indicate that the zoning or may have been amended prior to the termination of all variances and before
Wow.
August of, but that was not done, I don't believe, in
Well,
the town.
it's even a different wrinkle because
Okay.
the town of Ware had their own before the state did. And we've got 3 or 4 flavors, and we're gonna go after. That's another piece of business after this, is for those people who can kick the can, we have some of those, 1 year and 2 year renewals. If they miss it, which we had some people do, you're out. So, I don't pretend to know much about this. I can ask the question. When I mean me, Kelly and I will converse with some town council and get an answer back. But if it is active, I suspect you're okay. And if it's not active, even though you got it once, since that 96 timeframe, we have a new fire chief, and there is an Article 36 in our, I think it's Article 36, which is long-winded, 4 or 5 pages, painfully defining what a driveway is, given the length coming off the road for a pitch, anywhere along it, and the radius turns. So, I like to have this thing, do you currently have one, is this any good? That's probably a good binary question first.
Okay.
And at the same time, we should be able to get an answer pretty quick. Well, maybe. And then we'll have a meeting before next time. So we gotta have an opinion.
Sure.
I don't know what to say right tonight, so.
So-
Can we ask for another opinion as well? Can we involve, if we do the DPW director, can we ask the fire chief to be present as well? Because if I understand correctly.
You could ask him, but frankly, he only,
There was just a fire 2 doors down, and there was ambulance and fire apparatus in there, so I'd be curious to
you're missing
know
the point.
their ability.
We put the conditions on. If
No,
you're
I
asking for a new driveway, you would have to go see him.
No, I understand.
You could go ask him, but we're the ones that put the conditions on, and we interpret what the zoning is, which he recommended what the driveway requirements are. Now, this is more than a driveway, but, yeah,
I want to
see,
share that. It's
Yeah.
a complicated process, and we've,
if you thought this was complicated, this is what you really gotta go through. And if you wanna step up here, I'll kinda go through with you. You're welcome to come up here if you wanna. Okay.
That's okay. I know the
I
challenge.
took the time to document this, and I got it checked with our town attorney, because if you read the RSA's, you come up with 14 different drawings, but we start here. That's her. Excuse me. Building inspector, code enforcement officer. Is it a class 5 or 6? Yes? I mean, is it a class, building permit required? Yes? Is it a class 6? Is it a class 5? If it is, you go all the way to the end and you're done. Okay? If not, you fall through. And then the question is, variance for a variance for conditions. If it says yes, if we give it to you with conditions, you go up here to the Board of Selectmen, and you gotta go talk to those people.
Yeah.
They refer to the planning board, who typically refers it to the Public Works Director and Board of Fire Wars, which are really the fire chief.
Yeah.
That comes back, and they recommend what, just an opinion of what they should do. They make a decision. If you don't like their decision, if you like it, you go over and get it. If you don't like it, you come back to us. under a practical difficulty, which is another wrinkle in this whole thing. And if you don't get it, you have a right to go to Superior Court. And if you come back to us and we told you no, and when you say, I got some more information, and if we go, no, Superior Court, or yes, you can now go through the whole process. So,
So we're hoping to do this.
Yeah.
exactly.
No, we want green.
Well, yeah,
Do Pasco collect $200.
we don't want to make it a
Well, you-
fast.
She can't give you a yes.
Wrong lot for
May I
that.
keep this?
You can.
Thank you.
I've got a promise to give somebody a colored
Yeah.
back.
Make
There's gotta be some weight to getting rid of the old camper
Yeah.
and the shed. I know
Yeah.
it's not part of the rules, but just from an aesthetic standpoint.
So is there a way that if we were to continue to next month, would we be able to accomplish both, getting an opinion on whether the 98 variance is still valid
I'm
and have
gonna
the
take
site
that
walk?
on. I'm gonna try.
Would the site walk be before the October meeting?
You got all the information you want to give her, Kelly, all your documentation, and we'll make sure that when we have the conversation, the lawyer's got all your information, so we're not making it up,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
okay?
Oh, you mean for the town council's opinion?
Yeah.
Like the information?
Town attorney is gonna
Okay,
Right.
judge on this, okay?
okay.
So, well, he'll tell us whether you get it or you don't.
Sure.
It's gonna be a binary question, I think, yes or no. If it's no, you're back where you are. And I will tell you that without getting my tape measure out, without getting my protractor out, or figuring out radiuses or angles or whatever else, it's pretty challenging. You know, that road is in sections. And basically, we have been granting with Article 36, must comply. And I'd rather know if it's possible for you to go through that exercise. And so with that, I'm asking if you would like us to continue this case.
I'd rather do it right the first time instead of getting denied and not having,
Yes.
all your questions need to be answered. And we're learning from it too, so.
We can go forwards, but. So. Motion.
Move to continue case 0920A and B to October 6th.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion? None of those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. See you in October,
Yeah, thank you very much for your time.
hopefully.
Appreciate it.
If we don't get an answer, if we can't get an answer from town council for a reason, it'll be November.
And will you, so if we had an answer and we needed to be here in October to proceed with the variance process, would the site walk be scheduled now, so it was before the
Yes.
October hearing? Okay,
I
great.
think we're gonna just do it because we should be more familiar with the site because I'm sure other people are gonna want to do something in the future, and we just wanna make sure we get it right.
Is that something we'd be involved in?
You can if you wish to go. I just don't know if we're all gonna be able to go at one time, or if we're gonna have to have two informal ones. Just basically go take a look, and I wanna get Benji out there, our Public Works Director.
Well, if three of you go at the same time, I have to post it as a meeting.
Fair point.
Right.
Understood.
We'll figure
So
that
if you do
out.
two, that's fine, but as long as it's just so that you know.
Yep.
And the planning board does it all the time, right? Just post that they're doing a site
Yeah,
walk.
I understand. We just wanna figure this out.
I'd
So
like to be
we'll
present
endeavor,
anyway, just so we can hear the process and
Yeah,
understand
I
what the
mean-
questions are, so we can be more prepared to answer for your questions next time.
the biggest issue is the prima facie of the road. What's there? And it's all about life and safety issues, okay? Not that there isn't issues with the people that already been there, but it's a question of you're asking relief to the zoning. And this is the process we have to go through. If people already made it through, you know?
We
People-
did speak with all of our immediate butters,
Mhm.
touching either, all the butters that had to be notified. and showed them the plan of what we proposed, and they all signed off. We have it for you.
I'm sure, yeah.
They all signed off supporting our application, so we at least know the immediate people don't object.
Yep.
We've had conversations with some others on the road that don't object, but we haven't spoken to everybody.
You're a
We
step
tried to
ahead.
connect- We tried to connect with the road association, but so far we haven't had a schedule that worked out for that. so.
Good luck.
Well,
There's-
we were trying to cover all the bases to be able to answer your
I know,
questions
it's-
and help alleviate some of your
There's
concerns.
like
So,
100 people, and you haven't heard from the ones that haven't built on the other side of the road. I mean, it was originally designed as campsites back before the war, World War II, I think, or very close to it. And they were literally campsites. Nobody built houses on lakes. We went out there and camped. And there's all bunch of little ones on the non-shore side. I mean, literally, you can look at the tax map, it's all cookie cutter. And a lot of people put their septic systems up there. They buy the lot and put it up there, so.
we understand that the prior owner of our lot is one of the original owners. If the history is correct, they're one of the ones that cut in East Shore
They
Drive.
should have acted on it earlier.
Not that that does any good for us now, but it's interesting.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, where are we now? Okay, that was the last one. Oh, here we go.
10:20.
We got it. Is Mr. Hayfield here? Let me do my little reading here, and I'll get with you. Okay. As I read earlier, this is Article 2410, residential use in a commercial zone. 2410 says, even though it says you can at the beginning, it says at the end you can't. Okay, however that works. There is,
Clear.
there is the 5 points of hardship, which has been, and there is the application front page. It's, I'll just give it quickly. You have any idea how many acres this is?
9.34.
9.34. Okay. It's 900 feet, Sugar Hill Road frontage, 490 Sewell Hoyt frontage, 615 north property, and 800 on the east wood line, boundary split in two sections. What does that mean, boundary split in two sections? Oh, okay. Okay. Proposed to use existing house on the property as a residence of the owner while still operating a land, okay. All righty. We have the compliance sheet. We have the 2410 says you can't do it, even though 24-1 says you can. A lot, 4, butters, tax schedule, and a you show 2 lots here.
That was the site plan I brought to the,
Okay, is it all one lot now?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, why don't you, let me see if people like this first, okay? Motion to accept the application?
Make a motion to accept.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion. Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, 5-0. Okay, why don't you pop up here for a minute? And let me get this straight. Is the entire lot commercial?
yes,
And you got a house on this? See, not only is it commercial, residential or commercial, you're only allowed one use, which you haven't applied for that, for variance. You're only allowed one use, even if you were both commercial. Now you want to have two uses, and you want to put a non-conforming house back in it again. And how long has the house been sort of out of business?
2005.
Oh, five?
That's when that's when David Archambault,
Okay.
he lived
Yeah.
there from 93 to 2005.
Let me just play what, before we get into the case, let's play what for a second. The property on the house side, is that residential?
It's all commercial.
All the way up through?
The whole lot's commercial.
No. To the 77 side of your lot.
Oh, no. There's one more commercial lot north of me with a residence.
Which would be the old Knox property?
Correct.
John Knox, okay.
And
Okay.
And then as you go down Cross Street, there's more commercial zone properties and also another commercial zone property with a one-family residence on it, which is the lot across the street from Sassy Engines, the old farm.
Yeah. Do we have an easy text zoning map, the actual map that we can read?
You can't read this one.
Not very well.
Yeah, it's gonna be too small to read, I think.
Do we have a
You
copy?
want the,
I want a little bigger than this.
the colored one like that?
Huh?
The only one is on the wall, on Wendy's wall.
That easily, oh. Well,
Want a magnifying glass?
I'm gonna need a microscope.
Okay, I can get you a magnifying glass.
If that's any better.
You think districts are abutting each
Okay.
other?
What the hell's north of this thing? Before I start, north. East. Peasley Hill. 77. This will be the road. See that little thing right there?
Purple?
That's it. Do you have a map we can see that shows this? Because it shows
I have tax maps, that's,
you.
but they're not colored. They're not gonna show.
Well, I need to be able to see the zones on the map. The map, tax map does not say whether it's commercial or residential. Does it? Does the map? No. So that doesn't do me any good.
There's the colored one on the wall.
It appears only his lot.
It's the same thing as that you're holding.
Well, yeah, I know, but we could actually see it with the abutters. That's the only thing right there, isn't it?
I believe that's it.
Is that it right there?
I have commercial zone, the one north of me has commercial zone, then you go down Cross Street, Sassy Engine is commercial zoned, and then across the,
Well,
Can you point it out here?
Lindsay Lane right there, that's, I'm commercial right there on the corner. My land goes right behind that guy, right there,
So-
yeah,
what, you
put
telling
an
us,
X where you are.
okay, what color do you think is commercial?
red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a dot.
Red is commercial there, and that's me, and that's another abutter north of me.
So that's not you.
The upper one's not me. I'm further closer towards Sewell Hoyt. I'm the one, I abut Sewell Hoyt.
He's saying this is him, not this
Oh, I'm sorry, it comes off.
This bottom lot here, not
Yeah, that's a potpourri here, isn't it?
And then as you go down Cross Street, there's more commercial when you get to Sassy, and then across the street, that's commercial as well.
What's over here?
I still don't know what this,
Okay, cross,
what's that little line around there?
easily.
Town boundary.
Stage.
What is that thing right there? What's that little thing around there?
Yeah,
Like that.
you don't have it in the legend, do you?
No?
Oh, right here. Rural
Conservation.
conservation.
Ooh, on top of.
Upper Hill.
So he's,
But that's not in me. That goes over further down Cross Street.
There's Sewell Road right there.
It's like,
That's so, you can come over here,
Okay.
Mr. Hayfield. Is that Sorrel Road right there?
Sewell Hoyt? Yeah.
Okay.
That goes this
So-
way.
So that is you right there.
Just
I am right there
read
on
that
the
out for
corner.
us if you could.
But
Wait a minute. That's, so where is Hoyt's Road? Sewell Hoyt?
Sewell Hoyt is right here, it goes this
Okay.
way.
And
I'm
you
at-
are,
I'm on the top.
I agree with that,
And then this one is that other lot north of me.
which is Knox's old one.
Correct, John Knox's old house.
Right. There we go. Much better. Okay.
And then you go down Cross Street and there's a couple other ones.
Thank you. Oh, God. Well, we got it on your phone, which is better than that. Thank you. Yeah. It would be difficult to subdivide that lot and justify a variance for that being a residential, it'd be considered spot zoning. Technically, the planning board could recommend that to the town and they vote on it and change it so it's official. That's why here you'd have to subdivide your lot into commercial, which you certainly make the 2 acres, or you're splitting it for firewood storage. You got 5.5 acres for your house. You certainly make it. The only thing is, you're in the wrong zone.
The house is in the wrong zone?
Well, it's like commercial.
No, I didn't hear the sentence. So
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. And the adjacent property to the house piece is commercial. So that would be sort of a spot zone, if you will.
The only other, once you're done, I've read through the zoning or the ordinances in 3.4.2. I don't know if you want me to read that or if you guys want it. That's one point that when any existing non-conforming use of land or buildings has been destroyed or discontinued for 2 years, the land, structures, and buildings shall thereafter be only in conformity to this ordinance, except that the zoning board of adjustment, after a public hearing, may permit the resumption of said non-conforming use.
You know, I know it's in there, but I've never, ever had that done from the beginning of time. And I've been on the board since '88. I'm wondering if there's been some RSAs that have stepped on that.
And I think this is what Jack's getting. Is there any situation that's preventing rezoning of essentially what you want to use as the house as a residential zone, so that the zoning board's not being asked to essentially do the spot zoning and rezone, which is not our purview?
We can approve a variance if we feel strongly. But at the same token, we can't necessarily screw up the map by what they call spot zoning, because you got commercial, and you got this Oriole filling in the middle, which is your house, you could separate, but you're between 2 commercial lots. I gotta be honest with you, before we pull that one, I gotta talk to the attorney before we understand what that paragraph means. If we can do that, a special exception is, you're just gonna meet the conditions. It's fairly easy compared to a variance. So, we're gonna strike, 3 strikes are out tonight. Third case. So, in order for us to rule on that, I've got to see the town attorney on that question. That would be an easier putt for you than
Yeah.
doing this. Because even if you came in and asked, which you haven't asked for variance, for separating that into a different zone. We've done that before, but if you are on the edge of a zone, it'd be one thing. But you're in the middle of the zone, middle of the commercial, either side of you. So that would be the easiest way to proceed. But I think in good conscience, until we talk, I never remember that ever being used. And I've been here since the beginning.
If that were used, wouldn't that also limit the use of the lot to essentially residential?
Well,
It was mixed
it's
use
the
back.
structure. We would grant him the, well, see, that's the other question. What they're really talking about is the structure, right? And so, would the structure fall into that even though it's in commercial? I don't know.
So we either go with that, or you're saying that I could make an Oreo effect, which maybe would work, maybe not. That's a lot of.
I gotta be honest with you. I think our attorney would, this here would turn more white than it is. And probably be an apoplectic shock if we did a spot zoning without talking to him. We have authority, but that is something way out of what we typically do. And the reason we'd like to check this is because we could do it, and it blows up in our face. Somebody who doesn't like this, like a neighbor, come running in and says, I disagree, get a lawyer. Now we're in court talking about this, and our attorney may have a very poor way of defending it, defending our decision to give it to you. So, we live in a litigious society. To go to court is around $25,000. I'd rather spend an hour, probably take me an hour to get all these opinions and be done with it. You may not like what our lawyer says, but at least we have a position we can defend. And so, just so I get the whole story without going, and I don't want to go any further until. Are you, now, my understanding, this house was converted into a snack bar to
Like 06
provide some facility up for people to eat, correct?
for the Speedway.
For the Speedway. And they were not living in it while this was a snack house.
I don't know the answer to that.
Let's-
I know that Archie lived in it in Len West when,
Okay.
but
Okay, well. And you have an alternative position you can pursue. You can go to the planning board and say, I want to subdivide that lot, and I want to request on the ballot for in January or in March. And the planning board is going to give you a thumbs up, a thumbs down, whether you agree with it, and change that house lot section into residential. So you can use it as a building without a variance. So, easiest thing for you is to get a ruling on that and
Yeah.
see if you got any traction.
yeah, I got my own opinion, but obviously it matters for the town's opinion. Like a town, I got my own like legal opinion on it, so that's why I brought it forward. But
So,
it all that matters is
And we'll see if it's any good.
so,
Do you actually have it written?
no, but that's what he said to pull, yeah, you know, present to you guys.
so I guess the question is, do you want to proceed tonight or and see how we vote on that, or do we?
Yeah, let me just follow this line of this legal issue. Can you get an opinion from your lawyer? You pay him whatever he wants to write this letter up for his position? Because I would prefer to give that to my lawyer,
Yeah.
so he can say, yeah, or no.
Well, that.
Rather than me trying to tell a lawyer what your lawyer is thinking about this.
Yeah, I
I
certainly
mean, it's gonna
can.
cost a few bucks to have him document it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But if he wants to put it in a letterhead and send it to Kelly, and hopefully get it next week, and whenever you can get it, because if not, we're not gonna be able to revisit this. Well, we could do it tonight, and,
Yeah, doesn't sound favorable.
well, it may not be something you'd want. Now, your point tonight, Mark, is, sounds like a broken record. We've had a 6-month vacation, well, 7-month vacation, goes back, and 3 continuances. You be okay with a continuation?
I think that'd probably be in my best interest. Sounds like.
Now, see if you get any rights based on that. If you do, it's fairly straightforward. If you don't,
Yep.
go back to where we are.
Another quick question. Now, how do other lots have like dual or mixed uses?
There is no mixed uses.
Okay.
That's the problem.
So when the tax,
Zoning says it's only one use per lot. You can have an accessory use to support that use, and I'll give the example. Jerry Haynes, the Dartmouth guy,
yep,
he wanted to do for-profit vehicle repairs for the public, as well as his bark mulch. And we said, which one do you want, essentially? You got one or the other. Now, you can fix your own equipment, be our guest. That's an accessory use to your business. But if he wanted to do something off the wall that's not related, he probably wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
So, your accessory use is not living on that property.
Right.
Especially when the zoning says you can't do it. So, I mean, I'd be happy to bring this forward. If you can get me your lawyer's opinion in a letter, send it to Kelly so she has it. We'll forward it down there, and we can probably take care of all this. And so, we'll continue this to next month.
yep.
Okay, we'll take a vote and see if that happens, but it'll be on the 6th of October. Okay, let's try this.
I'll make a
We'll make a
motion
mo-
that we continue to October 6th, next meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion? Seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Looks like 5-0. Thank you for your patience.
Yep.
And we may want, when we do send that letter down, want to send this package with Bill. I think we can do this on a phone call.
Do it on a what?
Phone call. You know, we need to send the package down to him, the zoning packages.
Okay.
Unless he wants to have us in his office, I don't really care.
Well, am I sending Martel and Alex?
What?
Am I sending the Belanger case too?
No,
No?
they've got to come back
Okay.
with a good argument why they need a variance. They got to come in with a variance, and they got to have good reason that shows that they should be granted.
Those medical documents.
Were we gonna look at the previous variance from
Yeah, you're
years
gonna-
ago?
You're
Yes,
gonna get a
we get
legal
that's
opinion.
next.
Okay.
The legal opinion on the previous
That's
case.
right.
You're a little ahead. That's next. So, Belanger needs to come back with a variance application if they wish to go forwards with 850, whatever it is, versus 700. 124 East Shore Drive. We gotta have the site walk. What was their point that they wanted us to look at? I wrote it down, I gotta go dig through it. Oh, the previous variance.
98.
Right.
98.
We gotta figure out which flavor that one is.
It's from 1998,
Yeah, 96 was it?
98.
98? And send that package down the bill. And we gotta have him do a
To see if it's.
archaeological dig to see what was in play at that time. And we may have to rely on older version of the zoning. I'm not even sure if that, back then, we had the condition of 1 year from the town's perspective.
98,
And
yeah.
it was 2 years, 1 year, so
You should be able to figure that out.
Schedule a site walk.
we're gonna have to figure out a site walk. Anybody wanna do this?
I can go by, you know, it doesn't matter, anytime.
So, what if we pick, like, the third Thursday, anybody have bad nights or bad afternoons?
Well, you want Benji there, right?
Want Benji there, so it'll be probably late afternoon.
Benji works 7 to 3 or 4, so.
Yeah, why don't, as far as I'm concerned, whatever you can get him there,
I'm
I'll
flexible
be
too.
flexible enough to.
I'm pretty flexible unless I guess something.
Okay. So let's pick a couple of days.
Mike
and
may
I'll
be
check
the only
with-
Yeah,
person.
next week I'm off.
Oh.
So if
Perfect.
next week could happen sometime, I'd be okay with that.
Just pick a day next week.
Yeah.
Wednesday?
Wednesday? What's the date?
I don't know if that's good or bad, but,
The 9th.
The 9th? At what time?
so we could do this at 4 o'clock for Benji?
He leaves by 4. You have to do it before that.
No, you can work.
No.
Overtime. Huh?
Oh, you won't. Tell
3
you right
o'clock.
now.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, again, anytime.
Anytime?
Oh, 3 o'clock
3 p.m. next Wednesday.
Where are we meeting?
Right
at the
after
site.
And that's the night.
Is that gonna be an issue having 6 cars up there?
Well, actually, their site would park,
You could carpool down at the end of the summer.
well,
If one of us gets stuck, I'll pull you out.
6 feet.
but I think there's quite a bit of space in that lot.
Okay.
And 3
Yeah.
cars can park on the road and 2 people can drive down the hill, especially if it's 4-wheel drive, so.
Let me confirm
And
with
we'll let-
Benji first, and then I'll
Let
send you.
Benji run his lights.
How about an email confirming the time?
I'm gonna check with Benji first, and then I'll send you an email to confirm
Perfect.
if
Yeah,
it has
that's
to
all.
be, but then I also have to post it as a site.
Okay, now we have 2 variances to kick the can on.
Yep. Yeah, 4.
Oh, we got 4?
Can you give that to the chair? There's 4 of them.
Let go of it.
Okay. Let's see if maybe this is one of these. This is for May 1st, 2018, case 30318. And it's,
Okay.
let's see, what's the case?
It's the north side of Concord Stage Road, Robin Hood, off the gates.
I don't see it here. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. You got it highlighted. I wasn't looking for the highlight. Okay. Robin Hool and Walter Gates, map 201-01.1, Concord Stage Road. Needs to get approved. Motion?
What's the case number?
What's this about again?
Request for an
0318.
extension on the variance.
Move
Oh,
to.
gotcha, okay.
Motion to approve the extension of the variance.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion, being none. All those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? 5-0. Okay, this is case number, oh, this is an old one. 2707. Here we go. This is, I know I'm gonna really butcher this name.
Highlighted.
Cindy Kazmarsky / Rooney. Map 108, lot 41, on 67 Pond View Road for an extension of variance. Motion.
I'll make a motion that we continue.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. And the next one is, this is done on September 12th, 2017. Carl Langdon, tax map 103-18, lot, I think it's 1833 and 35, Russell Drive. This is 4020. It's even getting older. Okay, motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. All those in favor? No, excuse me, second.
Second.
Discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. And the last one, this is August 7th, 2018. This is case 0818, and this is Kimberly R. Johnson and James C. Allat at Horse Spring Hill Road, map 409-2 68, 69, and 70 in a residential zone for a variance to Article 1711. Okay, this is right off River Road, where they have to blast, or they will have to blast if they have, I think they already did it.
They did
They gotta blast a significant amount of ledge to get up there. It's compliant.
Getting ready to build.
Okay, it's 2 days. Okay, this is 2 years from the date of a variance.
Are they all 2 years? Or
Huh?
Are
Pardon?
they all 2 years?
It says in the bottom,
I
2
know,
years
but
from
the
this.
other one's 2 years too?
I don't know, I'm just gonna look, but I don't wanna get
Nope,
distracted.
they're one.
Okay, this is all this stupid stuff.
Let's not put that in the motion.
I don't know.
Move to extend. Can't remember the case
Motion.
number.
To extend, okay.
0818.
0818. Thank you.
I'll second.
Second, discussion. Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. On this case, we're gonna ask on, East Shore Drive. You can probably tell if there's been a variance change when they instituted that one-year renewal by looking at that spreadsheet that, I don't know if you or Wendy maintain, of all the changes to the zoning.
I got that, yeah.
It'll probably pull it right out of that and probably send a copy of that down the bill so we can see it.
Okay.
And there may be a change to 2 years in there, so I don't know which one's which.
Okay.
Okay, I think we got any more?
Minutes.
Minutes, oh my gosh.
February and March.
You didn't include them in the, include it in here? Oh, you expect me to bring my calculator in here, my computer?
Whenever they were passed out, they were emailed to you way back when they were done.
Email,
Yeah,
ah,
You can borrow mine if you want these. Does anybody have any changes on it?
don't know, I haven't read them.
I don't, I'm not never did well in,
Pass them over, I'll take a look.
English.
Be real quick.
Those were Courtney's minutes.
Tell you what, we'll take that one. We can read along. This is for February. I think we only have one case that time.
didn't meet in February.
Well, it says we did, 4th. Continuation case 0120. Application for variance for zoning, this is Frank Bolton's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This is all boilerplate here.
I took my magnifying glass and my map back.
Myers spelt wrong.
I know, his name tag is wrong.
Gotta beat you up on that one.
So is,
First page,
Mark's.
bottom paragraph.
This guy's spelled wrong.
Yours is wrong too?
Yes. I spell it correctly, with a C.
Is it in the minutes that way?
I don't know. I'd never really, that's probably the first time I've noticed it spelled that way.
Oh,
Huh, mine's wrong too.
Is it?
Gary, it is not. I think I took it from minutes. Is yours right?
It must be, 'cause I didn't notice.
Anybody need a hard copy of zoning?
Oh, this is case 3,
Oh, sorry,
which
what?
Need
was
a hard copy of
Timpson.
zoning?
The,
setback, Concord
Okay,
Stage.
so it's just for now, for time being, I guess. I
when was
emailed
the
them.
last,
And I think this was last
Looks
month.
good to me.
okay,
So on the back
I
page,
wasn't
you'll
here for
notice
this
where the
one.
changes
Oh.
were.
yeah, there's a couple online that,
Please get that.
And then Riverdale was never put in there in 2018, but I put it in
You
there.
okay?
I'm on an old one here.
Any changes?
Any
No,
changes?
no, those are your 4.
Yeah.
No, that's your thing.
Yep, I got that.
You wanna look at this one?
I already read them.
Look at it back. Mike's gonna look at it.
Oh, Mike, you want that?
What do we have doing the minutes now?
Courtney, I texted her.
She back?
Yeah,
I thought she flew the coop.
no, she's back, she's been with planning board right along.
Oh,
I texted her, but she didn't answer me
we
back.
missed her.
Like, are you on your way? And nothing, so. Well, she's on her
I
way.
think so.
Right, I can do minutes. I can handle it.
Looks good.
Alrighty.
February, March, okay?
Yeah. Move to accept March and February minutes
Thank you.
as amended.
Second, discussion. Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Motion to adjourn. Somebody wants to adjourn? Oh, thank you. Second,
Second.
discussion. Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
0, 5-0. We are